Over 5,000 years ago, the ancient Bhagavata Purana laid out a radical timeline for human existence. Life begins here, in the womb. According to the text, the unborn child is far from a blank slate. As the physical body develops, as bones and limbs take shape, the consciousness inside is already ancient. It carries the heavy weight of previous actions, unfinished desires, and the karmic debt of many past lives. Trapped in this tight space, the soul experiences a profound moment of clarity. It remembers. Recognizing its helpless condition, the unborn soul turns inward and prays to the divine, seeking release and vowing to prioritize truth once born. This brief, hidden awakening shows that the soul already possesses the knowledge of its divine origin. The real tragedy is what happens the moment the child leaves the sanctuary. Birth arrives like a shock to the system. Bursting into the physical world, the brilliant clarity of the womb is instantly wiped out by a rush of sensory overload. The ancient text calls this the great forgetting. As the child grows into youth, the promises made in the dark vanish. They're replaced by earthly ambitions and the loud demands of daily life. The pure soul becomes totally absorbed in the identities of I and mine. This diagram shows the mechanics of samsara. Because the eternal soul is buried under a material identity, it locks into a repeating loop. Birth leads directly into material attachment, which generates suffering, which ends in death, only to start all over again. Long before the rise of the great kingdoms, a divine teacher appeared in the earliest age of creation with a specific mission: to break this loop apart. Kapila argued that suffering persists only because we have forgotten who we are. His arrival provided the systematic method required to cure this cosmic amnesia. That intervention came from a sage named Kapila. Revered as an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, Kapila was born to the noble princess Devahuti and the powerful sage Kardama. While most philosophers of antiquity spoke in grand royal courts, Kapila delivered his entire worldview in private to a single listener, his own mother. He called his teachings Samkhya, or the knowledge of reality. It strips away all external distractions to answer one single question: who are we? These profound cosmological truths were born from a son's quiet desire to save his mother from the cycle of suffering. Kapila explained to Devahuti that everything we experience rests on two distinct eternal principles. On the left is Prakriti, the material universe of body and mind, constantly shifting. On the right sits Purusha, pure consciousness, the eternal witnessing self, perfectly still. Suffering occurs when the still witness forgets its nature, identifying with the shifting forms of Prakriti. To reverse this, Kapila offered a twofold approach. First, practice detachment to stop performing the selfish actions that generate new karma. Second, use deep devotion to anchor the mind to the divine. Liberation occurs when the soul disentangles the eternal witness from the material body. It's a change of awareness, not of location. Kapila's logic was flawless, but it required action. It was up to Devahuti to test the Samkhya system. Through years of disciplined meditation, Devahuti actively began weakening her own karmic chains. She systematically dissolved every layer of her material identity. Her focus yielded the ultimate victory. She transcended the forces of nature, permanently extracting her eternal consciousness from the grip of matter. Devahuti's transformation provided the historical evidence for Kapila's claims. She had evolved from a grieving mother into the ultimate proof that his philosophy could be mastered. The site where she achieved this awakening became known as Siddhapada, the sacred ground of fulfillment. It remains a monument to her spiritual victory. Her success shows that the amnesia of the great forgetting is reversible. We are not temporary biological machines moving toward death. We are eternal consciousness, currently veiled by a very convincing illusion. Kapila's exchange with his mother implies that the power to dissolve this amnesia belongs to anyone willing to apply the logic of Samkhya. Freedom remains an architectural choice of the soul.